I am July with Jam Collective. I am joined today with by Kiara Ryan with Glerups. Hi, Kiara. How's it going?
Hey, July, how's it going? Hello to everybody. Thanks for coming out to this outside jam event. We're stoked to be here.
Oh, it's such a beautiful fall day for this. So we are very in love with Glerups over here at Jam Collective. But how about for those tuning in, let's share what Glerups is about, what Glerups are, and how the brand got started.
Yeah, for sure. So Glerup started in 1993 by Nanny Glerup. She was a Danish mother at the time and is now a Danish grandmother. And she started felting boots by hand. First pair actually for her husband, Uwe, who you might see on the screen there with some Gotland sheep. And they had a pretty wild production of 2 pairs a day. We've obviously grown a little bit from the 2 pairs a day up to where we are now, but started on a family farm. And as they started to grow, they ended up purchasing some land in Romania and starting a real deal production. It started with a dirt floor factory, and the dirt floor factory eventually became a concrete floor factory. And actually now we'll be discussing a little bit more about the new progressive Glerups today, but currently we're sold in about 28 countries worldwide, newest being Japan. And we're pretty excited to see the overall worldwide growth. Some of you might know some of the history about Glerups from before, and this might be new to a couple of you joining today.
Kira, quick question for you. Tell us a little bit about what's going on in these pictures.
Yeah, so Uwe is actually on the left-hand side of the slide there, and he's actually touching some Gotland sheep. And you can't really tell from the image, or maybe you can if it's big enough on your screen. He's actually wearing a wool tank top in that photo that his wife Nanny had made for him. And on the right-hand side is actually Nanny's hands hand felting a pair of boots to show the way in which they were originally made. And one of the key parts of the DNA of Glerups is really trying to respect all human, animal, and nature. So really trying to make sure that all of our products that we produce really embrace the values of our founders, Nanny and Uwe, by using 100% natural product.
That's an interesting mention about the respect for human, animal, and nature. I know that many of us are considering that these days. But can you elaborate a little bit more on what that means to Glerups?
Yeah, so really it's our goal to make sure that the circle all the way from the sheep to your feet and beyond is totally around again. If you can see on your screen there, it's talking about how we reuse, and we're constantly striving to push forward to try to have a zero waste program. In doing so, we're starting to find ways in which we can use things like the scrap wool, wool dust, and even some of the leather scraps. If you look on your screen, there is a model BR with a small leather tab. That tab actually used to be made out of polyester, but we actually found that with some of these leather scraps from this high-end leather that we're using for our leather-soled slippers, that this is actually, there's a little bit of extra left over that we could brand and kind of use that scrap in order to kind of close the gap on any type of waste. For our waste wool or excess leftover felted wool, we've found a ton of different ways in which to use it. If you follow us on social media already, you might have seen our collaboration with Lubeck Living, making some Christmas ornaments. We've also done things like pot trevets and koozies. The big stretch on the koozies is really starting to try to get people to wrap their brains around the fact that wool will actually keep you cool. It's a natural insulator. So whether it's warm or cold, the same way in which it regulates the sheep's body temperature, it will do the same for your feet. So keeps you nice and dry and sweat free.
Love those koozies too. I've never had anything keep my beer so cold. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, oddly kind of true. So,
yeah.
The natural insulator.
Yeah, exactly. And we know that Glerups, well, at Jam, we know that Glerups started with a slipper with a leather sole. The brand has expanded to include much more than that.
Yeah.
What's offered now?
Yeah, so if you've been following Glerups for a long time, you might know some of our options. But we started, as July said, with just a simple boot actually with a leather sole. That was the original model created by Nanny and Uwe on their farm in the north of Denmark. We've since expanded the line to add in 2 other models, the slip-on, which is more of a traditional mule style slide, and the shoe model, which comes just up below the ankle bone to kind of give you more of a closed heel back. After many years of trial and error and lots of customers saying, I just want to wear my Glerups everywhere, we began the process of a rubber sole. If you can see on your screen there, we offer 7 colors. Also with a natural honey rubber outsole, a black rubber outsole, or a calfskin sole. We have sizes ranging from a newborn baby, which is, you know, the cute little brown boots there on the middle of the screen towards the bottom. Our baby boot is made of 100% natural lamb's wool. And we run from a newborn baby all the way up to a size 51, which is the equivalent to about a US men's 19 or 20. So we can pretty much fit every member of the family.
I have a quick question from the audience for you, Kira.
Yeah.
Are Glerups light enough for backpackers to use as a camp shoe? The slides look promising.
Absolutely. Depending on what type of packing and camping and the environment in which you're camping in, I personally would recommend the slip-on rubber. On average, you're looking at for women, about a pound per pair. They're very packable, light, flexible. I actually have one right here on the table, but you can see that they pretty much can pack down. You can shove socks in the boot model and, you know, really maximize your space if you need to. But they are very lightweight, packable friendly, especially for backpacking. If you're ultralight backpacking and you're not planning on really wearing them around the campsite, more or less just in the tent, you could opt for the leather model, but we do tend to recommend that the rubber model is strictly for indoor outdoor. Leather model is strictly for indoor use.
Perfect. Thank you. And another question, how do you recommend wearing Glerups?
So your Glerups really can be worn anywhere. Definitely the rubber model can be worn indoor, outdoor. Personally, my recommendation is as an après shoe. If you're in the outdoor industry at all, or you like camping, hiking, backpacking, skiing, snowboarding, cycling, running, the list could go on and on and on. Glerups are a great recovery shoe. They really allow your feet and your toes to splay naturally, which allows the blood flow to return to your feet so that you can recover and continue to move forward. Also, the wool will naturally wick moisture away from your feet, which keeps you nice and dry, as well as regulating your body temperature. So keeping you right at that 98.6 ideal temperature, actually, whether it's warm or cold outside. But they pretty much can be worn everywhere. The leather models can also just be worn strictly as indoor shoes. There's something cozy about being able to just take your shoes off at the front door and slide into a pair of house shoes. I'm sure many of you have switched to working from home. So Glerups could also be the perfect work from home shoe.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I wear a pair of Glerups pretty much all day, every day, and wore them around downtown Denver in the middle of August. Yeah, Glerups, the best part, I think, is wearing them barefoot and how it actually molds to your foot.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, if you were to take a pair of Glerups and cut them in half, you actually would see that 100% of the fiber touching your foot is actually wool. We don't add any chemicals or additional fibers into the uppers of our Glerups, so it is truly 100% natural wool upper. It's a blend of New Zealand crossbreed white wool and Danish and Swedish Gotland sheep. And the crossbreed white wool gives you nice structure and durability, while the Danish and Swedish Gotland sheep gives you that soft, silky feeling. As July said, if you wear them the first 3-4 weeks, they'll shed a little bit, which is totally normal. And what actually is going on is the wool is compressing underneath your foot to give you a custom toe bar, small arch, and a little bit of a heel pocket. So you end up with a custom molded shoe after the first couple of weeks of wear.
So cool. I have a few comments here and a question. Actually, sorry, no, they're all just comments, but this one I want to share. My Glerups, the slip-on rubber, were my top 5 favorite pieces of gear on our 2-week-long Iceland expedition 2 weeks ago. And that was totally unexpected. I use them every day and was shocked at how well they performed. Great for setting up or taking down the tent in ice, rain, and deep snow. Definitely grabbing another pair. Boots this time, which I highly recommend the boots, especially for
Yeah.
winter wear.
The shoe that I actually held up is a boot. This is my personal pair for at home, but living in New England, it's 9 months of winter every year. So we have to buckle down. It's actually about 30 degrees outside. So we're just starting.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So I want to share a little bit. We have 5 minutes left, but would love to share why these are such a great gift and to touch on Danish Shuga.
Yeah, so Glerups, as far as gifting goes, I mean, obviously we've all seen a change in the world around us today. So a lot of people are kind of spending a lot more time at home. And for those that are starting to adventure outside of the home, Glerups can also be a great gift for that. A lot of people associate slippers with Christmas gifting, but they can also be great gifts for Valentine's Day, Mother's and Father's Day. As slippers, pretty much our slippers anyways, can perform year round. As July and I just briefly touched on, they can keep you cool in the summertime as well as warm in the wintertime. So they kind of are the ultimate tote along house shoe, which in gifting, we always say if you can get one onto your feet, or if you can get one in the family, you'll pretty much get them all. And our slogan as a company is caution addiction can occur. We stand behind that 100%.
Yes, it's very true. Because they just keep multiplying. The pairs just grow. Like you have to have everything. You can give them to every person in your family and they will want them every holiday, birthday, Valentine's Day, whatever gifting occasion you have.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with the popularity of Glerups worldwide now, how does Nanny and the team keep up?
Well, it's a pretty good question. We actually have some cool and exciting new news to share. And that is that we just completed production of a brand new 30,000 square foot manufacturing facility. For those who don't know, Glerups is entirely vertically integrated. So we own our own production. Which is kind of our DNA. We really want to be able to control the product from the sheep to your feet, which means partnering with our farmers on fixed contracts in advance. So they have stable lines of credit for new tractors, barns, things like that. But also in owning our own manufacturing, it means that we can control the product 100%. So we really can kind of follow those values all the way from the beginning to the end. Additionally, on top of a brand new production facility, we purchased a new needle felting machine, which should carry us through for about the next 30 years. And on top of that, we've got some very exciting news here for the US, which is that we've just purchased a couple of months ago a 22-acre parcel of land here in the great granite state of New Hampshire to begin breaking ground actually this spring of 22 on a brand new US headquarter. We're aiming to be a pretty cool green new building, and it's something that we're really proud of. So,
wow, that's really exciting. I can't wait to see that. And before we let everybody go, what's pricing look like for all
so pricing wise, starting from our baby shoe retails at around $40. From there, you step up into our kids models, which are around the $60 to $75 range at retail. When you get up into our adult models, which is size 35 and above, you're looking at starting pricing around 95 to the ceiling of about 155. So depending on the model and sole in which you choose, our cheapest model would be our adult slip-on with leather sole, which is priced at 95. And our highest price point item would be our boot model with leather sole, or sorry, with rubber sole, which is priced at 155.
Great. Kira, thank you so much for your time sharing all this information with everybody.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much
everybody.
to Jam and Outside for hosting this.
Perfect. Welcome to have you, as always. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Be sure to check out the Outside Jam website for all product requests if you want to talk to Kira one-on-one, or any other questions that you have for us. Next up, we have Burley I'm going to toss it over to Greg and Kim.
Hey, thanks, July. I've got my Glerups on right here.